All right, guys, hope all is well. I haven't done a video in a little while, so I'm just gonna show you guys what I'm kind of looking at. Last week wasn't really that amazing for me. Did actually take quite a few losses last week, coming down to a bit bad psychology, but again, is what it is. We grow and we look to smash this week ahead. So, dollar, we all start off on the dollar. If I'm going to be honest with you, nothing really that amazing that I'm seeing so far, but that doesn't mean that things can't develop in the week, which is fine. We do have, okay, well, let's just kind of run it back. So we have this weekly zone where we did have this big area of supply and demand in the market. You can see supply and demand, supply and demand. We have came in and tested within all of this zone. We were looking for 50% after we had this breaker structure, looking for 50%. It was around here. We didn't get that, that's fine. And we've literally just been absolutely continuing. We have been bullish for 56 days, and so far we haven't shown any sign of pulling back. We did have a breaker structure here. Again, we haven't had any pullbacks. There have been some zones that I have been looking for in around here, but nothing is yet confirmed. What I do think maybe could happen is if we do validate this zone, that's then when we could potentially look to go long, or we could start distributing into this zone, have a slight pullback, and then just create that sell to buy, come test and continue. So far, nothing actually has been tested. I do have a zone on the 4 hourly, but again, this none of these other zones have been tested like here have been tested, so I'm pretty sure we're just going to have this follow on and continue through. Going back on the daily really quick, I was looking at this zone, but I'm probably guessing that this is going to be just invalidated, and we're probably going to be coming up into this zone. So 3,250 or 13,250, nice psychological level for us to be trading from. If we do get any form of pullbacks, I will definitely just be looking to long or short anything on the dollar, i.e. kind of looking at anything like this. Daily, I can see zones like AU, or anything really against the dollar where we do have this really nice zone that we've all kind of been waiting for to get tested on across the pairs. Nice breaker structure, looking for that pullback into that zone. We maybe could get that from here, but I don't really think it's going to happen. I do just think we are just going to continue just massively higher. But again, it always is good to have your levels where you are going to be looking for just in case, and not marrying a bias. That's been an issue that I've had in the past. How do I hide this? So always be willing to adapt if things aren't doing what you do or think they're going to do. Actually just really wait for those confirmations. So dollar, nothing really too much. We are just super bullish, so I'm not really expecting anything less unless we do get a slight pullback, maybe into our 50 EMA and look for continuations high. But if I'm going to be honest, I don't think we're going to get that, and I think we're just going to run. NAS, nothing that I've really been looking at, to be honest with you. I am going to wait for this. Gold, sorry, gold again. I am waiting for this. I was expecting to see a bit more shorts, but nothing yet. Silver, really quick, was looking for sells off either this zone or this zone, just because we were pushing lower, and I did think we were gonna kind of just die off and roll. I do have a weekly zone a little bit lower. That doesn't mean to say that we couldn't now. Now we've just run everything. We could just run a little bit lower. That's fine. I do want to wait for a nice sell to buy movement, which could maybe give me an entry. Weekly though, we could definitely see a run down into 2130. We do have some flat lows here, so I do think we could have a bit of short. We could maybe fill some of this imbalance. I'm not really counting on it too much. So yeah, let's just wait and see. At the moment, I'm not really seeing anything that amazing, so let's wait and see. Now, Bitcoin looks quite nice for this week, actually. I do trade Bitcoin sometimes if the setup is right. This one actually looks quite a nice setup. So obviously, as we know, we've kind of had our big run, and now we are kind of like heading back down. nothing really that much has happened on it. There was a nice trade a few weeks ago in Bitcoin, but I find after it's done its move, it doesn't really do that much afterwards. So I feel like it does kind of consolidate quite a lot. It's a little bit boring to trade. So we have came in and tested our major whole number at 30,000. As soon as we came to that 30,000, we did slightly pull back, only testing these highs, not even testing these zones down here. Now we did look to run again. We had a nice bullish move. We did look to run again. We didn't run it. We kind of just came in and around it. On a lower time frame, you could class that as a breaker structure. For me personally, I'm not, because we have a major whole number here, or we have like we got our major whole number 30,000, which is right in our zone of supply. And you can see we had a fight between supply and demand within here, and this is the same zone which kind of was all tested and created in here. Now we do have potential higher zones. I mean, even everyone can see we've tested here. We ran these highs. Now this is a potential valid zone. Don't think we're going to actually get a massive run like that. If we did, cool, we can look to trade it. But so far, we haven't had that. We are kind of just in and around this zone. So we have, in my opinion, pretty flat lows at 15K. I do want to see if price could maybe come down and run that again, but that's kind of a big ask at the moment. Again, we do have our weekly zone. In here. And we also have this low in here. So you can just see how much analysis I've already done, just still on the weekly, and how much you identify. And if you should be able to identify everything that's going down all the way down. It's still the same thing. You're just taking it in a lower perspective. So again, this is a little bit more just because of my trained eye, but we do have a distribution here. We can go into that zone. Let's drop it down into a daily now. Daily, again, let's kind of focus in on here. So we had this accumulation distribution, sorry, in all of this zone. Let's go. Okay, so this is the 50, this gray box is the 50% of that high time frame zone, I believe, on the weekly. So we're just going to refine that a little bit more. We can delete that off. Cool. So you can see this is our distribution. Why is it a distribution? Because we are consolidating, we're manipulating, we're breaking structures. Personally, we didn't actually test as high as I would like, but if you were look at the things, that is technically a test. All of this zone in here is still valid. And then we kind of just dropped from here. Now, I was looking on the 12 hourly to get an even deeper zone in here. This is what I was looking for. I did want to see if price is going to run up and then die off. And then I was looking for potential buys here just to see if we could get any move off of this zone, because I did think we were kind of shifting. And then I thought we were going to get that big buy to sell, but we didn't. I did actually get in on a nice short in this zone here. So we had tested this zone, and previously before that, you can see we just tested this wick. If you guys know, a wick is just nothing more than a buy to sell. Came in, we swept this high again, testing that 30,000 or just into it, and then again dropping on a 5 minute, because it's a 5 minute entry. There we go. You can probably already see it. Into here, test, and then we continued lower. Unfortunately, where are we? Yeah, so in here. So unfortunately, I actually only did get it down into sorry. Only into these zones in here. That was still a nice trade. And I was looking for the longs, but then we just died and really, really died off then again, which is fine. So for the here and now, we have a couple scenarios. I'm looking to see, because yes, we do have this low, and again, you can see somewhat we did kind of break above it. In my opinion, we didn't. I really like to see a breaker structure like this. You have a boom, clear breaker structure, then you start generating liquidity and then you pump again. But we didn't really pump as much. Sorry, that was my speaker. We didn't really pump that much. We did just came up into that weekly supply. We had a really, really nice distribution and then we pretty much died off. So now within here, what have we had? We've had a test of this zone kind of coming down and creating somewhat equal lows. Definitely people could have, there's going to be a lot of stops under this low. What we can do before this impulse happen, we can take this low and we can just take this high. And yes, there is zones up here, but we don't always get a test and fill of those. Again, you can see from this low we've came up into this 50%. And then we have actually started to shift lower. On the daily, we did actually close below all of this noise in here. So, I mean, it's not a major breaker structure, and some people could say that this was just a run, and I do think that is fair. I feel like you could look at these at either side. Personally, for me, I am looking at this as a run, but I do want to see if we can have some pullbacks and then actually have a bit of a dive into this weekly and actually take out these lows, fill out this imbalance, and even maybe come a little bit deeper into the zone, because this is that weekly zone, even maybe into the 50%. So do we have a nice psychological level within here? Yeah, we do. We have 21 flat, 21 flat, 21,000. Kind of in and around that 50%, which is looking really nice. So template, idea, thesis for Bitcoin. Now we have, well, this whole weekly zone. Target one. And then we have a second target as well. Cool. So we could even pull a fib. Fib. Now I've scaled into this zone and you can see really, really, really clean. We come in right on that 4 hour, what lining up right next to our fib. Did we just fill this imbalance? We just came shy, but that's fine. So we have this zone. Do you know what I'm gonna do quick? What I do like to do is just map out the days of the week. Don't have to do this, obviously. I just like to do it just so you can see how price actually moves throughout the week. What day did this? Okay, so Monday. Oh, we literally died off every single day last week. Wow, that's amazing. Not last week. So we have this 4 hourly zone. So I want to see if we can maybe get some entries from here. This is going to be the zone that I'm really kind of eyeing up the most. I do have to take into consideration that we do have this daily imbalance that we could literally just test from. So we could have a couple of entries. We could have one and swing. You could even maybe probably swing this into 21. So around a 1 to 5 swing. Cool. Second entry idea is off of this 4 hourly. And we just have the stop loss just above this high, just to give it a little bit of breathing room, just in case we do want to just slightly fill or just slightly take out that high. And that means we've got a little bit of room that we can play with. So again, we can go let's have a look. So we can take 50% of this. What does 50% line up with? Nothing really too major. You can see 50% is just to buy that high, but I'm not really going to be looking at that too much. So far though, this does actually look like quite a nice setup. Everything, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so we could maybe come into here. If I'm going to be honest, we did kind of we ran this, we kind of tested in here. I don't think there's going to be that. Yeah, no. I mean, we could maybe just run it. Who knows? Who knows? We could actually just absolutely moon and run all the way up to 30k again. But just from this basis standpoint, I do want to see if we could go lower. And this one, unfortunately, is actually just going to have to cut the risk to reward just slightly. So depending on how you trade and how you risk, you could have a 0.25% at each. So you're only risking 0.5%, or however you would like to do it. We do have potentials for some nice trades. Good price. Cool. So this is kind of what I'm looking for. Obviously, we are going to have to wait and see. Again, unfortunately, we do have this weekly zone as well, which we could run, and we could actually run that weekly high again. Let's wait and see what happens. Let's wait and see. So if you guys have any questions about any of these, let me know. Quickly, euro. Looking short on this again. Obviously, I'm still waiting for this hourly, 4 hourly move in here. What we could maybe do, what time frame was I looking for? Yeah, what we could maybe do is, depending on how price wants to run, I am potentially seeing this as a potential draw of liquidity. You can see we have some highs in here. Depending on how we open, we could just run into this zone and then actually have this move back down. So I am currently in a short position on euro pound, but I think we could do something like this and then just run everything. We may stay, but we do have this Asian low, which I don't really like that much. I was quite surprised that price tested of this. I mean, to be fair, it's valid. We had that run, supply broken, looking for the zone that caused that. This is that zone that invalidated this supply. We tested it, we continued, we broke structure, looking for the zone that caused that. This is that hourly zone in here. We ran this low, we literally just missed it, creating an Asian low, which for me, I like to see Asian highs and lows get run. And that is exactly why I think this all got ran on silver, because you can see, if I put my sessions on, you can see that this is Asian session. And I've even said this in my past videos, usually on silver and gold, you will always see like the Asian highs or low get run. So this was kind of just a pure stupid mistake on my behalf. I wasn't being vigilant enough. Equally, it was still valid. It really was still valid. We did have like a slight test. We pulled back and then we just mooned again in the Asian session. So yeah, it is what it is. So Asian low, I do want to see if we could get a run on that and then maybe actually start heading lower to run out a lot of these lows to then maybe have that full bigger run. But again, let's wait and see what happens. Euro, again, I am still going to wait. I am in a, like I said, I'm in a short position of here. So maybe we could have some weakness, but if we did just run through, That's fine. AU as well. Honestly, I haven't even really looked at this that much. I do think AU could run lower, at least into 0.62, 0.63, or 0.625, maybe 0.625 again. Nice psychological level for price to be trained from major quarter point, major half point as well. I was looking straight off this zone in here. Yeah, so we had, what was this is when market closed. We ran it. We didn't run anything in here. We kind of kept it all intact, and we do still have this zone down here, which just ran this low, which mitigated within here, so AU, I am just going to wait. I don't like these lows. They look nasty. I like this zone, which is the same kind of 4-hour zone, which which I was mentioning before on silver, on the dollar, sorry. There we go. If we go invert that, this is dollar. And this is AU. So you can see that is still that strong 4-hourly zone that we're looking for. But we haven't tested it yet. Dollar is looking pretty strong. So again, I would not even be surprised if we just dived. So yeah, let's see what next week holds. I'm not sure if there's any news. I will keep people updated. I'll probably do a video again in the week. If you guys got any questions, please let me know. Feel free to fire away, and I will try and help everyone as quickly as I can. All right, guys.